Hello and welcome. This is the Toon Terraces. Some of you may recognise us from another channel, and we've done a free mid-season transfer over here, and we're going to bring you the match preview. But before we do that, we can't look at the match preview without doing a match review. Obviously, these games just come thick and fast, and obviously straight on the highs of beating Manchester United, we'll then go away and score 5 at West Ham.
Just the weirdest game in history. I mean, it was.
And we didn't even play well.
I know. That's what made it weird. It was just, it really was bizarre, wasn't it? I mean, it really was. I mean, we were great sometimes, but the first half, Jesus.
I don't remember a single spell in the game where Newcastle were just like average or good. It was like we were either absolutely unreal or honkingly bad. Like
it's like no in between, what's there? The same could be said for West Ham. I mean, oh dear, I didn't half feel sorry for him.
Aye.
Well, I'm going to admit something. It's probably the early stars that I've had this week. Yeah, but I nodded off at about probably 7:30. Woke up at 4 minutes past. Thought, hang on, the game. Turned on the TV, and then Callum Wilson scored, and I went,
chaos ensued.
I went, oh, well, I've timed that well. And by the end of the game, I was fully awake.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Now, when the lineup came out, it's not to you, but were you a tad disappointed that Willock and Isak had been dropped?
I kind of expected Willock to be dropped. Well, dropped. Obviously, he was carrying a knock after the game, and I thought,
shall we say then?
Yeah. But I just thought, he'll probably bring Joe Linton in because Eddie loves Joe Linton, but also if Willock's taking a knock, it's like, okay, well, we've got a like-for-like replacement to come on the pitch. Don't have to risk him. Everyone knows he can do the job. Fantastic. I think the biggest surprise was probably Callum Wilson starting, but then obviously his record against West Ham, which was well spoken about before, during, and after the game for good reason, sort of explained it a bit. And obviously 3 games in, is it 6 or 6 days or 7 days? Probably good to rotate. So I understood it, but it did surprise me a little bit. I wouldn't say I was disappointed. And turns out Eddie was right. Both of us changes scored 2 goals.
Exactly. I think that's where a lot of us would have been going, okay, then.
I'll shut up. Go on, Eddie. You know what you're doing.
Exactly. It was that. And he's done it many times this season where you've looked at it and you've went, I'm not too sure. And then you're like, okay, then, mate. Yeah, okay, yeah. He was right. Yeah.
Yeah. Fulham away was the first one, wasn't it? I think where we all did that, where it was like, what? That was the first one. I thought, I'm never questioning him ever again. Never again.
Exactly. Well, I also think Liverpool was it, because he'd rested Sean. I think it was Dan Burn and Lascelles that started at the back, and you're going, really? And then you're like, oh, hang on, when Eddie came away with the draw there, maybe a win. So you're sitting there and you're going, oh, mate, okay then. So it is those sort of things in that, even when you're going, oh, Dan Burn at left back, but no, there's very few changes in that, and I know Eddie Howe's been the one to say that he doesn't actually like changing the back line if possible, which is fine. I understand that if you to be defensively good, you need to keep a good solid back line on there. When you first saw Joe Linton's first goal, were you thinking, Steph offside? It's not going to take this long for VAR to look at it.
So I was like 50-50 about whether it was actually onside, but in terms of whether the goal would be given, I was like, VAR will rule this out. The VAR's literally here to screw us and nothing else. Based on experiences this season. Because I saw Joe Linton had curved his run, and I thought, okay, well, that gives him a chance of being onside. But it really kind of looked offside in real time, and I thought, well, probably offside, and
Yeah.
even if he's not, VAR will probably somehow manage to put the lines in the wrong place. So for the replay to come up, and obviously everyone's immediately sort of looking at the defender closest to him, and you're like, "Ooh, that's tight." And it's only then that you spot Emerson at left back going, "Hang on a minute."
I mean,
it close at all.
it was so. I thought it's got to be, hasn't it? Because he just seemed to just run in. I thought it's got to be offside. I mean, and the footage I saw was from the back, wasn't it? So it was hard to tell first of all. But I thought he's got to be offside. I mean, they wouldn't have just let him walk through without, or run through without being offside. He must be offside. So I just went, oh well, never mind.
Well, that's the thing, because you didn't see the start of the run. You just seen them miles off, and you're going, yeah, this is offside.
Yeah, this is going to be offside.
And
it was a nice little treat.
But funny enough, it was quite similar to the Sheffield United goal when Shelby went through and everyone's going, yeah, he's offside. And then it came back and you're going, actually, because I was actually looking at, and this is the thing, because I was looking and I was going, oh, that's tight. And then you like you said, you look at everything, you're going, yeah, right, okay. You understand now.
Getting won over progressively and coming around to the idea of, hang on a minute, this might be giving you
do you know what? You could be. And then that little green line goes up. So you're like,
he took it well too. I mean, 2 games out.
Yeah.
He's come back in and he took it well. Probably only surpassed by the absolute filth that was Fabian Schär's pass.
Yeah. Because apparently he didn't mean that, apparently, did he?
Yeah, according to Jamie Carragher. Jamie Redknapp. Apologies.
Yeah. Just because Jamie Redknapp can't pass a ball that well.
Yeah, he wishes he was as a good footballer and as good looking as.
He would think that could never have been a good passing.
He can't be that handsome and that good at football. I refuse to believe it, said Jamie Carragher.
I'm the only person in this ground that can do that. Be both of those things is what Jamie Redknapp was thinking.
But no, it was, and it was on those show, we'll say they can't do the Macarena.
Yeah.
They try to do it and they I'm going, no, just leave it at Callum. Yeah, Callum, he can score goals and he's got the moves. Yeah. Which he did, because he'd have got a 10 on Strictly for the Macarena move, because it was perfectly done. Yeah, you've been practicing that, son, and well done.
Yeah,
it was the other one in studio with Joby Backenough or something. With
Carragher.
Yeah, I keep saying Carragher.
Redknapp.
Yeah, they didn't cover themselves in glory.
No.
I think it's probably because we were hoping it was Carragher rather than Redknapp, and my mind's just sort of like blocking Redknapp out of that. Yeah, that's more like it.
I mean, talking about covering themselves in glory, man. When Joe Linton's goal went in, one of my mates went, "Oh wow, that doesn't look onside." I was like, "Oh, it's going to be 5 this." And then when they scored, and then when they scored, they were like, "Oh, you must be slightly embarrassed now." And I just left it till like full time, and I went, "Who's slightly embarrassed now then?" So, because it did look like it was going to go that way. I mean, obviously they hit the post in the first 40 seconds or whatever it was. Bruno, see,
I was watching. Speaking of 5, I was watching it in the Strawberry with a few mates. So we sort of went into town to watch it, and it seems to be a good omen, because every time we go there to watch an away game with the same pals, we play kind of a bit crap, but win by loads of goals, because the last time we did was Southampton away.
I think you said on a text, didn't you? You said, that about Southampton. This is just like the Southampton game. It was where we played all right. Yeah, we weren't rubbish, but we weren't like,
But there was a lad in the Strawberry. There was a lad in the Strawberry who had a bet on 4-1, and I've never seen someone so conflicted when we scored the 5th goal. He was like, "Oh,
why, Joe Linton? Why?"
Yeah, and he got a smack on the head as well, didn't he?
Why didn't you put it wide, man?
Yeah. Joe Linton 2 years ago would have put that wide.
I think that was what someone said. This Joe Linton, that's quite good. Has anyone thought about playing him up front?
Yeah. I think someone did say that, didn't they? Yeah.
But it just shows like because again, Jacob Murphy, another unreal game. Yeah,
I know.
And it's just like well done. Yeah, and I'm going to say props to Maxi as well, because I thought he was having a heck of a game, and obviously great ball in for Callum Wilson for his first goal and that. And again,
his movement was on point. It really was. Like, his movement was a lot better.
Yeah,
exactly. And you're sort of thinking, "Oh, hang on, are we actually now seeing the rewards of a fully fit now?"
Yeah,
Maxi, because brilliant against Manchester United, and now brilliant against West Ham, and you sort of look, and then you're going, "Go on, my son!" And he's one of those ones. He can still do those ones. He still do those, but he knows how to pass now, and that's the great thing I'm loving to see about that. You're actually seeing that. Again, Bruno, really good. Yeah, in what he was doing, showing that like it's difficult to actually. The only one I would probably say is maybe Nick Pope didn't cover himself in glory on the goal that's conceded.
Yeah.
I still probably could have said it could have been blown up for a foul. Yeah, some referees could have blown up for that because
I'll agree with that. I've seen them given. I don't think it was a foul for the record, but the amount of times you see any sort of impediment on the goalkeeper, the ref just blows a whistle.
Yeah.
I'll put it this way: if it had been Wilson and Fabianski, it probably would have been given as a free kick. We'll put it that way.
Poor Fabianski. I said on the other side, what a good goalkeeper he was. I must do that more often to goalkeepers we're about to face, which no doubt I will do against Brentford because he had a shocker, didn't he? Bless him. So, but going back to what you said about Murphy,
it certainly was a perfect keeping performance.
Yeah,
from
wasn't textbook.
Yeah.
Some people might not have got that reference that I was doing there, but it's because Kurt Zuma scored.
Yes,
oh, of course. Yes, I forgot. Sorry, I just forgot that West Ham scored. Basically,
yeah. That's all right.
Never mind who
they'd
scored.
Forgot by the end of the night that they had scored as well. I mean, I've never seen
exactly.
So, I mean, if you ever want to do a fire drill and get people out quickly, just have someone score a goal in the opposite end, and because I've never seen people leave en masse so quickly. I mean, that's nothing against them. It's just the stream was amazing when they went in. And to be fair to them, they were 4-1 down. I mean, they didn't miss anything, did they? They must be walking away, getting on the tube, hearing a roar and going, yeah, that was a good call.
The thing is, if you're going to leave early, one of the most tragic things you can do is have white seats in your stadium because it really stands out.
Yeah.
But I think I actually said at one point, it's nice of West Ham to do a tribute to the Etihad.
Yes, you did.
The Etihad.
But no, it was to be fair, it's 4-1 down. I probably would if we were 4-1 down to West Ham, I probably would have been leaving at St James Park going, I can get to the pub a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
So there is that, but it was. I think as soon as the third one went in, I think that was sort of like West Ham were like,
yeah, their heads dropped, didn't they? Quite right as well.
And to be fair, that was a shocking defensive performance.
It was.
But Jacob Murphy, did well to pounce on it, to get into there and just slide across, and Callum Wilson just like, thank you very much.
It was a sucker punch, wasn't it? Because it was like you said, their heads dropped because it wasn't just the goal; it was the manner in which they conceded it and the time when they conceded it as well. You're just like, wow, God! Yeah. I mean,
exactly.
A+ work from the cameraman, because every single time a goal was conceded, it was just like, we absolutely positively have to check on David Moyes. It's like Moyes.
He's just like.
He was miserable.
I have to say, when that third goal went in, and you just seen that clip,
it went straight to him, didn't it? Yeah.
I was like, perfect cameramanship and direct, to get that. I was like, well done. Yeah. That's a better highlight than the goal, to be fair. Because the goal was nothing special. But then you look at that and you're thinking, right, okay, so we're 3-1 up. We'll rest some players. I know what we'll do. We'll bring on Alexander Isak, Anthony Gordon, Joe Willock. Yeah, I think
just for shits and giggles.
Yeah, and then I think didn't we put on Matt Target and
good to see him back.
And that.
Yeah, Manquillo. Wow.
That was
someone
right towards the end in that, but
on Manquillo, someone literally remarked in the pub. I don't know who it was. I just heard a voice behind me. It was like, "Who on earth is that?" When he was coming on.
Is he a competition winner? Has he like won some sort of competition to get on a game? So
is that Harrison Ashby fella that was just saying?
Yeah.
But no, it was like
options, man. It just
that's what it is. We've now got options, and we've got two forwards, which must be the envy of some clubs.
God, yeah.
Like Chelsea, Chelsea have got no one that can score. We've got two.
Yeah. And we've got our top goal scorer to come back in a few weeks' time.
Exactly. Yeah.
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 Which is mad to think about, really, when you put it in
But-
that context.
You then look at it and you're going, well, Joe Linton's picking up goals. Yeah. Joe Willock's scored. Yeah. So there's players that are scoring and you're thinking,
Yeah.
we don't necessarily need that. I thought Trippier again was, up
Phenomenal.
there. It was
Just-
perfect
he is.
again.
My man.
Top grade.
Man.
He is, yeah. Dan Burn, yeah, he did look a little bit shaky, but then he didn't really have much to do with towards the end. I'll actually say I think the player that actually probably I was concerned about most during the game was Declan Rice,
Yeah.
because I thought he was probably
Yeah.
their player of the game, and
I don't think there's another team in the league. This might be hyperbole, but I honestly don't think there's another team in the league that is so carried by one individual as West Ham and Declan Rice. I can't think of another team. The closest one I can think of is maybe Southampton and James Ward-Prowse, but I honestly think Rice is so integral to West Ham. If he's injured, I don't understand how they win a game.
He's played every single minute, hasn't he? Something ridiculous like that. Every single minute in the Premier League this year.
He's so good. Like, I mean, we scored 5 goals, and not only did he still have a good game, there were points in that game where he, by himself, single-handedly controlled the midfield. And it wasn't like our midfield had a bad game.
No, but he just made them.
He's just that good.
Him look at that even, and you are looking at that, and there's part of me that sort of hopes that West Ham goes down now because we might be able to get Declan Rice.
Yeah. Well, we'll have Bowen. We'll have Rice.
Never mind West Ham, Declan, man. Come to us.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Champions League football.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I think he's been rumoured recently with Arsenal, hasn't he? But let's just hope those are just rumours.
Yeah.
I know, but come on, as a West Ham lad, you're not going to go to Arsenal. It's sort of like a rivalry there. Yeah. So.
Well, we'll see, won't we?
Get yourself up north, come on, yeah. If you think you're good now, just think what you're going to be like when Eddie Howe gets.
Exactly, Eddie Howe. You know what we've like I said, Murphy. He is to footballers what Lords is to the sick, isn't he? Football's going to come to us now and go, make me better, please, Eddie, make me better. I mean, it's phenomenal. It's getting ridiculous now.
Can we just point out though, Joe Linton? Yeah, if that's not a miracle,
that's not a miracle.
Murphy, the greatest turnaround in footballing history is Joe Linton.
Miggy.
Exactly. It absolutely is.
And you look at silly.
Yeah,
Fabian Schär, who couldn't even get in a bloody team when Bruce was there. It's silly. It's really ridiculous what he's done to that
Longstaff.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Longstaff. I mean, ridiculous what he's done to him.
Even Willock, because Willock was looking a bit sort of like,
Yeah.
So
I think Willock's an interesting one to explore because I think he's, in a weird way, he's probably taken the most time to adapt to Howe's system. I think, like it's been a bit of a bumpy ride for him, but he's obviously a talented lad. So he's been putting in performances, but he's not really been hitting the heights that some of the other lads have been hitting until I would say he started showing glimpses of it, sort of just before the World Cup.
Yeah.
And then back up to speed, and now he's obviously the past 4 games or something like that. He's really shone.
He'd be in the next England squad, won't he? I think it'd be.
Nah, Southgate doesn't have a. If we had a manager with a brain, he might be, but Southgate's not going to call him up.
Well, as long as as long as there's not another international game between now and the end of the season,
which there is not.
I think it's June, which in that case, come on, pick Willock, give it. Because then that's a boost, and he can go, do you know what? I've started playing well now, and I've managed to get myself in the England squad. I'll work that little bit harder in that, and that's what you need to look at in terms of the benefit of it. But like I said, it was a heck of a game, and can say the coolest man on earth is Alexander Isak.
Ice baby.
Never mind.
Ice Isak.
Yeah. Exactly. We went from rice baby to ice
baby. Yeah.
But watching him hand on hips, watching the ball going like. Photo. Can you imagine having that confidence in anything that you do in life? Never mind for just anything. I'm never that confident about anything. It's just madness.
And he might not even start tomorrow.
Do you think he was standing there going to Fabianski? Aren't you supposed to be there?
He's like, hang on a minute, why aren't you back?
But his face was almost like, did I lock the front door? You know, like that. You know, like you do. Like, oh, shopping list. Have I got my bag with me?
Did I leave
Yeah.
you?
It just literally was
Exactly.
like,
It was like,
that's gone in. That's a conclusion. What time are we going to get home tonight? It just,
or was it like,
brilliant.
did I put my phone on charge?
Yeah, exactly.
It was.
I
It
think I
was
left my
like
phone on the
thoughtful
coach.
that. He's probably thinking, did I really just do that?
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
and then when the players started telling him, he was like, yeah, okay, I did it. Right,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
come
yeah.
on, let's go to the
Oh.
fans and that, which was great. And then, like I said, I actually think I sort of liked Joe Linton's, well, both goals, but the second goal, because again, that was a well-worked one in that, and you just thinking,
It was a
to be
top
honest,
finish.
I think
He
at
got
5,
clattered for it as well, didn't he?
yeah, and I think at 5, I'd finally relaxed and thinking, right, okay, we've got this.
Yeah.
Go back to sleep now.
I can relax now.
Yeah.
Bruno's pass into him, by the way. Wow.
And that goal that Murphy nearly scored as well. That would have been goal of the season.
Oh, yeah. So that, like I said, some of the football that we were playing,
Yeah,
just,
sometimes
it's like watching classic.
Is this
Brazil.
really us? Yeah, is this really us?
But that is the type of football that Eddie Howe wants to play. And like I said, I can sort of understand that it wasn't the best performance because we came off the back of the best performance, I think, of the season against Manchester United from minute 1 to minute 90. We were just incredible.
Yeah.
And I was when you're sitting there and you're going, can you pick a player of the match? I don't know actually. Yeah. So it was difficult. It was different. It was so difficult. I think I picked Joe Willock just because I thought he was outstanding. But again, you're looking at that and you're going, well, can you really drop Callum Wilson? Yeah, but then you're like, it was against West Ham, and that's the team that he normally scores against. So yeah,
everything he did was right, Eddie.
He
got everything right.
We should talk a bit about Wilson because I don't know what you lads thought, but obviously the goals are brilliant. But for me, one of the key things was he just looked like he was moving a lot freer than he has.
He did.
Yeah,
quite as lost, did he? Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, I guess a couple of goals always helps, doesn't it?
So do you think resting him and when you put him on the bench and started Issa has took the pressure off him a little bit, and maybe that sort of helped him eventually get back into it? Because
that might be part of it, yeah.
And the goal against Man U, do you not think that's probably where the confidence? Yeah, he's got that, and he's like, great, I've got a goal now, confidence, and then that's bred into the West Ham game, and he scored early on there. So he said, "Oh, get him, great! I've got 2 goals in 2 games. Come on, yeah."
So that it's hard to tell because obviously he's had the the illness and stuff, and so I think that might be some of it. But I think absolutely, I think you're right. I think confidence comes into it as well.
But you look at it though, Callum Wilson scores 2 goals, and then Isak's coming on going, that easily.
Can I get in on this, please? Thank you.
I'm just going to push you one more. I mean, I wonder if Wilson and ASM have had the same problem because they've been basically carrying that team before Eddie Howe came in, and maybe it just wore them down. I mean, maybe just in the end they needed that time to feel free, and they're thinking, oh, hang on, I've got competition here. I've got, they don't have to carry it so much. So, and that's great for us. So I don't know if that's the reason, but
when you think about it as well with ASM in a weird way, for a bunch of different reasons, he hasn't really been fit since Wolves away at the start of the season, which is crazy. But he's obviously a lad that takes a long time to get to peak fitness. Unfortunately, it's just the way his body works. And niggles here and an injury there and blah, blah, blah. And it's only maybe the past 3 weeks or something where we've seen him back to full fitness, which, like I say, it does sound crazy to say, but I think it's true. And look at him now.
Yeah.
But in the Forest game, he didn't necessarily have, and he sort of had a niggle there because if you remember, he came off at half time.
Aye.
And then he's got fit and then back in. But it's one of those things I actually think... I think it's me saying that we should sell them because I started talking about selling Callum Wilson.
Yeah.
He started scoring. I started talking about selling ESM. He started scoring. So, I think we need to sell Jacob Murphy.
You're just ruling the club with a culture of fear, Mark.
Exactly. Stalin-like. Just be Stalin-like with everybody.
Look, if it works, it works.
Now, it's just something when we're talking about players, and it's something that we looked at, which was today, was we've mentioned that, but you look at the assists for this season, Trippier with 6, Maxi with 5, and he's been out. He's been injured for part of that as well. Joe Wilk again, who's been okay, but only really started to really show that. Obviously, Bruno, Bruno's going to do that because it's Bruno. Although he's probably got the assist for the goal of the season.
Yeah,
in that one. Then obviously Longstaff and Wilson. So you're probably not that surprised with regards to the assists aspect of it. You're not going to see Mickey there because Mickey was the one scoring. So he's like, I can't assist myself. So unfortunately, in that one, but I think it just shows that Trippier's importance both defensively, but obviously doing that and getting down. Because I actually sometimes like the link-up play that he has with Miggy and Murphy now, and also Longstaff there. So that little triangle in there, that's just so good.
Yeah. I mean, anyone who's watched the other thing we used to knows what he's my player of the season. Trippier already. He just is. He's just. I know. I mean, just for balance as well, because everyone's going to go about Bruno. He is my guy. I adore that guy. He's probably the best right back we've ever had. Ever, and he's only been there 18 months now. He's phenomenal, and he makes everyone better around him, which is what real good players do. And he had a little dip, and I remember saying this to Mark in the pub. The whole cliche form is temporary, class is permanent, and he had a little dip, but I love the guy absolutely. I hope he stays here forever and a day.
It's his attitude and his passion in that when you look at it. I'm not funny, but I think there's probably a video there's an interview today that I haven't watched yet because I've been busy, but I watched the one before the West Ham game where Murphy and Longstaff were picking their teams, their 5-a-side teams, and Murphy's just got an infectious personality, which you just absolutely love. And like I said, I think it was probably something in the interview where you've become a co-team with the fans because of the way that you went on like the Southampton thing and stuff like that. And
absolutely.
He was like, I probably shouldn't have done that. I went, no, don't put yourself down, Jacob. You should have done that, and we love you for that. That's just it's like what we love. And I think it was like, wasn't it if he did a face or something at one point, like a look,
Marco Silva.
Yeah, exactly. Then obviously the time wasting one this against Man U, and you just say, but that's what we want from you, Jacob. We want that because you get that, like you said, the passion from Bruno on Sunday against Man U, where he's just screaming at the Gallagher, come on.
He's definitely he's Newcastle's most memeable player.
Exactly, and then
he has this season,
and then Joe Willock like smacking his chest like at the badge and that, and you're just going, yes, my son, and it's going. That's what we wanted to see. We've got a squad here that would give their all for this club. But we've also now got a fan base that would give their all for the players.
It's everything that Manchester United and Tottenham's teams lack. Like the one thing that really gives me, I'm not going to say confidence because I'm not used to having that as a Newcastle fan. But hope, hope's the better word about getting the top four.
Hope, we'll do it. We'll do it in the air. How's the bacon manner?
But it does because Tottenham haven't got that. Man United haven't got that, and we've got we might not have the flashy names that they have throughout the entire team, but they're showing they're just as, at the moment anyway, they're showing they're just as skillful as these fellas and the other teams. And they want it more. They just want it more. Like, I mean, when you've got Sean Dutch coming off after the Man United game and saying, we've, they wanted it more, and then Shaw comes off saying the same thing, and it's all a bit salty, and they don't bloody like it because it's like, well, at the end of the day, it's on you lads because there's nothing stopping you giving as much of a shit about winning the game as we give a shit, and if you're not prepared to do that, then that's on you.
Yeah, we're really starting to get under other teams and other fans because it's going so right. So many planets are lining up for us right now. Everything from everyone else's point of view looks rosy.
We've seen the Man U fans already this weekend. Michael Oliver, Newcastle.
Oh yes,
he should be refereeing the games. I'm going, well, how many Manchester United fans have we had? You had a Manchester United fan, allegedly, supposedly, or whatever, refereeing the cup final. Yeah, if everyone was there.
I mean,
We've had Anthony Taylor.
It's just the way it is, isn't it?
You've had Anthony Taylor refereeing games, and I'm like, sometimes you not think it puts more pressure on Michael Oliver because he's from Newcastle and because he knows that people will be watching that. I hope he didn't. I hope
it certainly does now, doesn't it? I mean, if he makes a mistake or gives them something they shouldn't have given, it's all going to be, I told you so. But
I just hope they lose just so they can whinge on that. And it helps them take the focus off their own failures. At least with David Moyes, he said, "Well, I'm not being fair, but I probably would have walked out after that goal and went."
Yeah, it was quite funny.
Which is sort of fun. Well, it's honestly from that, and I think he was trying to say, "Well, look, I'm not going to blame the fans for walking out because we weren't good enough from that sense." Now, obviously, looking into it, that was one tick. With I thought West Ham was going to be quite a tough game. In that sense, it was in one sense, but not in the result sense. We've got another tough game that's coming up, obviously tomorrow in a Brentford side, and a good Brentford side. I'm just a little bit disappointed that the referee didn't book Ivan Toney, because I believe if he'd got booked, he would have missed this game. So,
I didn't know that.
Tony had a tenner on it as well, so.
I know, so he's out of pocket as well,
yeah.
But what we'll do is we're just going to have a quick look, and we'll look at the last 4 games. Now, if you look at that, on the Newcastle column, we've won our last 4. Brentford have won away to Southampton, but then drew with Leicester and Brighton, and then lost to Manchester United. So if you look at that, we've won 4 in a row. They've won once, but they've not won in 3.
It's a bit of a mixed bag for them, isn't it? Because it's like there's no shame in going away to Brighton and getting a 3-3, but
God no.
To only get a draw with Leicester, and then by all accounts, obviously I didn't watch it because our game was on at the same time, but they kind of put up a fight against Man United, but were a bit toothless, is what I heard. I haven't even seen any highlights of the game, to be honest. But so it's a real weird mix of results for them.
Yeah, it was, and all reports. I don't think Man U were that good in that game either.
No, they weren't.
It's just one of those ones, and then obviously there was the talk that obviously that Rashford had come back from an offside position and stuff like that. But we're not going to look at that. But you are looking at that, and you do look at that Brentford side, and you're going, they are, they do, like, the pack a punch.
Yeah.
In that sense, you've got Damsgaard, you've got Mbeumo, you've got
Tony. He's having a great season. Yeah.
In there, so you're looking at that and you're going, I mean, this is difficult.
I always thought Brentford would be a harder game than West Ham. Similar as that. I mean, West Ham are not having a great season anyway. I don't mean we would have, obliterated West Ham quite that way, but this is a real tough one. Villa and Brentford are the tougher two. I think Villa is slightly tougher because they're on a brilliant run, but Brentford are in a. If it wasn't for Brighton, they'd be my team of the season. Brentford, they have done, from what they are, amazing, absolutely amazing, and they're going to be so tough to beat. I really do think if we get anything out of this, it'll show a real good sign. So because they are really tough.
Yeah. They
if we come out of the 3 away games with 7 points.
Oh,
brilliant.
I'll take it now, yeah. I'll give you it right now. Thank you.
Would you then be nigh on confident that we will finish in the top 4?
It would go a long way, because I don't know about you lads, but obviously the next home games, looking beyond these results, if you say we get 7 points, which is a big if, but if we do, the next home game, Spurs, I don't know about you lads, I don't see us losing that game. I can't see how Spurs come to St James's Park and win.
Yeah.
Which...
Because assuming we do get... That'll be 5 wins and a draw out of the last 6, and if they're Spurs, they're thinking,
And we'll still have a game in hand on Spurs because
Yeah.
we won't have played the Brighton
Yeah.
game.
I mean,
and did you see their last game as well? It's just it's still the same Conte football. It stinks. It's awful.
Well, if I'm correct, Lucas Moore will be missing for the game at St James's.
He will. Yeah, he got red carded, didn't he? So yeah. But yeah, it's going to be real. So, you know, they're
to be fair, I'd have red carded Harry Kane for that.
The lad's a joke. I mean, look, at the end of the day, there is no excuse for putting your hands into someone's face. Yeah, of course, but Harry Kane is an embarrassment. Like, if I'm Doucouré and you know, I'm thinking, well, next time I'll just actually go and knock him out then because I'm getting a red card out of the way.
We would just like a disclaimer here saying that if Harry, you do decide to come to Newcastle next season.
Nah, I don't want him. We've got Alex Isak. Fine. Not bothered.
Well, he'd obviously be behind, you know, Wilson and Isak. So
yeah, he'll be third choice. Yeah,
of course he would. I mean, Europe. We'll let him have a run out in Europe occasionally in the Champions
Carabao Cup. Yeah,
you know,
those
the
little
little
games.
things.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, well, actually, you look at that, and yeah, we've been rumoured with Tielemans and Bowen.
I quite fancy Bowen. I think he's a talented lad. I think he's the sort of player that Eddie Howe would really match well with, I think. And I just think, I mean, listen, I think David Moyes can do a decent job at a football club, but once he gets to 7th, he has no new ideas on how to get any further. And he's not the most inspiring of managers, shall we say, or he doesn't appear to be from the outside looking in. I'm not sure how a player is going to respond to him.
The only thing which you can probably say goes against that is he's going to be having a bang with Danny Dyer, not the East End lad, but yeah,
we're into showbiz now.
The Love Island.
What you're talking about? Oh well, in that case, I definitely don't know what you're talking about. So
well, Danny Dyer, the actor's daughter, is called Danny Dyer as well.
Yeah,
she's
named
with
him after herself.
Yeah, she's with Jared Bowen, and obviously they're having a bang.
Oh,
but also, Danny Dyer's a massive West Ham fan.
Oh, okay, well, he's played for them now. There you go. I mean, he's played for them now, so there you go. Can't you know?
I know, but you really want to be upsetting that particular father-in-law, though, because I don't know whether or not I would. But no, he'd be a heck of a player, and you imagine you just think having, let's say, Jared Bowen on one side, then Isak and Maxi on there, and then you've got a midfield of Tielemans, Willock, and Bruno.
Yeah. Or maybe Rice as well.
But
I'm just getting carried away.
We do need a deal.
No, I'm not getting too greedy, but you just look at that and you're going,
I know,
decent there. It's just the excitement aspect of it. Now, obviously, we're talking about Brentford and that, and all the managerial, merry-go-round stuff, with Christ knows how Frank Lampard managed to get back to Chelsea.
We could do a whole show on that, Mark.
But then you look
I wouldn't write that.
But then you look at that and you're going, how come no one's coming in for Thomas Frank? Because the job that he's doing at Brentford,
because he's at Brentford, that's why. And it's that thing again, isn't it? I mean, he's got no name before he came. He's not Frank Lampard, who was a great footballer. He's just same as Eddie Howe. They're only at these little clubs, aren't they? So they're not interested. I mean, he should be lauded for Bayern Munich, because he hasn't just done it one season; he did it last season as well, and he took them up.
And I was going to say, and Brentford don't necessarily have a massive budget. It's a very modest budget, and they don't go for the big names. They'll go for, like you said, Damsgaard and stuff like that. And Wermo, the players that are in that squad, they're not named where you'd go and go, we're going to go and sign them. Mm-hmm. And they've got to, I think wasn't it Ollie Watkins was with them as well. So they've got that history of selling players, buying them cheap, selling them at the right price, and reinvesting that into the squad and getting great players. Exactly, and Brighton do that as well. But you just look at that and you just think the job that he's done, and that's why you look at
phenomenal.
That. And you're going,
take our own bias out of it. He should be manager of the year. Frank.
Well, that's the thing. It's like I was going to say, like that team works so hard as well. They're up there with us, really, in terms of how hard they work. And
they don't play like awful football.
No, it's good football.
On the eye.
Yeah, it's good to watch. And I think in any normal season, you would look at Brentford and they'd be sort of the fairy tale club. But obviously, we're doing what we're doing, and there's Brighton as well, and
Arsenal to it. Because I'm not being, but no one, and I don't think anyone would have expected Arsenal to be top of the table.
A lot of people didn't have them even making the top four. Never mind, winning the league. So
you look at that and you're going, right. So Arteta's got Arsenal at the top. Eddie Howe's got Newcastle third. Yeah.
De Zerbi's come in.
De Zerbi's got
done
Brighton,
what he's done.
Whilst Potter's out of a job.
Yeah.
And then you look at like what Thomas Frank's doing and where he's got Brentford in that, and Brentford are in for a club like that to be in with a chance of
that size.
Football.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, because not the biggest stadium as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just look at that and you're going, and that's I'm going to be honest.
I was the radar as well a bit,
Exactly. Now you look. Last season we went to Brentford, and I was quite concerned about going there because I thought it was a tough game, and we ended up winning, thankfully, because I think Mike Dean sent a player off quite early for them. So thanks, Mike, for that one.
They did, didn't they? Really, but I mean, we started the game really well again, though, in that one.
Yeah,
we do seem to do that, and it's just one of those ones where you sort of look and you're going, is the fact that they've not lost, that they've not won in in three. Obviously, the last one was a defeat.
Mm-hmm.
Is that sometimes where maybe their good ones maybe catching up with them? Yeah, in that sense, it's one of those things.
It's their turn to have a blip. Yeah,
it is that, because every club's had it. We've had. I would say we probably had our blip in a sense, and we're seeing again go away to Dubai for a wind on the drop.
Exactly. Yeah. Can we go away next week as well? That'd be great, please.
Well, we haven't got a game, so if we go away Tuesday to Thursday.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, the irony is Steve Bruce loved to do that, but he just would never take the players with him.
Yeah,
he just piss off to Portugal and lie by the pool for a couple of days, and it's like, can we not come, boss? Nah,
I'm going for a tactical rest.
Yeah. I'm going to work on the tactics. Steve Agnew's going to do your training for you. So
yeah. Which Steve? Well, one of them. They're all called Steve, aren't they? So
the gaggle of Steves.
Unless you're called him.
Yeah.
With Brentford though, I think if it sounds weird to say this after a game where we've just won 5-1, but we need to put in not necessarily a better performance. I just think we need a more consistent performance if we want to be sure of coming out of this with something, because it will be
assured.
Tony will not need more than a couple of chances to put one of them away. So,
and they'll have a lot more. I'll put it this way: I think if they get a goal back like West Ham did, I don't think they wilt under the pressure. That's genuinely will spur them on. Whereas I think West Ham got that goal and just went. They almost didn't really know what to do once they got there. They were like, "Oh, we can just taste the taste of getting back into the game," and they're like, because they're down,
shot themselves in the foot.
But I also think that the thing is, half-time came at the wrong time for them. Like if they had another 10 minutes, it might have been a different one. But I think that probably half-time probably knocked the sails out of them in terms of like the momentum that they had, and then
I think you're right.
because we then went and got the third one so close after
And they'll want revenge
they'll
want revenge after the 5-1 at our place. He's going to be mentioning that. So.
I don't think it'll be revenge, because he'll put that down and go, look, just make sure you don't make the defensive mistakes that you did.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be noted, won't it? I mean, at best.
But this is the thing. You remember when Brentford came up? Yeah, we were all talking about, and not to say that's going to be the same, but we were talking about that being a tough game.
Yeah.
It almost went so differently as well, didn't it? Tony had that goal pulled out for us. No, it wasn't Tony. It was I can't remember who it was. Now, but Tony
someone
was
else
in the offside position.
Yeah,
because I think he'd made a movement to get away from the ball, but that was classed as interfering because it sort of like the defenders would have thought that he was going to play the ball and that. So the right decision was made on that one. But you just look at that and you're going. It's probably the ones where you're not expecting it that we seem to do okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's one of those things. Question here. Well, we know Nick Pope's going to start, and we know the back line's probably going to stay the same because Eddie Howe said that he doesn't like changing it.
Mm-hmm.
Will the midfield stay the same?
I think it will. Yeah. I mean, it's hard. If you want to bring Joe Willock in, you look around and you go, okay, who do I take out the team? Bruno, not going to happen. Joe Linton's just scored 2 goals and put in a great performance. Sean Longstaff, do you really want? I mean, he didn't do anything wrong. Certainly, he didn't. I thought he had a good game. So you don't want to take him out and lose the legs in the midfield. So I think, unfortunately,
Longstaff has featured in every single Premier League game this season.
There you go.
Well, actually, no, every game this season. I think the cup game. So is Jacob Murphy. Not necessarily all starts, but you look at that and you're thinking, right? So
that was another interesting
Jacob
thing.
Murphy has made they've appeared in every game in that, and it's cool.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, that was another interesting thing to come out of their interview. I noticed was the player that's been used the most times since Eddie Howe arrived at the club is Jacob Murphy. Not necessarily starts, but like games featured in, which I found really interesting. But yeah, I think you're right, Mark. I think Longstaff plays as well. So I don't see Joe Willock forcing his way back into the team quite yet.
That's what I'm saying. It's so bloody tough because you're going.
It is.
Well, really, did Willock deserve to be dropped from the Man U performance? No, but then you go
absolutely. He did have a knock though, didn't he? So I think that was precautionary. So.
Yeah, no, but and then you sort of going, does Joe Linton? Yeah, and then you're going, well, does Joe Linton deserve to be dropped after scoring 2 goals?
Yeah, of course not. I mean, I think it'll be the same team, but I'm not sure if it'd be Isak or Wilson.
Yeah, that's the.
Who knows? He might start both of them.
Yeah, that's the big question mark.
I think 10.
I think this game might suit Isak a bit more than Wilson, but then again, who's to say? Callum Wilson is just, that guy. Like, they have the confidence to come back in. Everyone's talking about it. He's still got it. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you look at the defence and going, well, right, is like you've got Ben Mee in that defence. That's what, yeah. So you're like, is Brentford's defence more like the Burnley defence where you probably need someone like a Callum Wilson? Yeah, the rough and tumble, a bit aggressive, a bit sort of like bulk and that. Yeah, don't mind getting in like the tussles and that with those sort of defenders and that.
Yeah.
But then you look at Isak, and Isak's just got so much skill. I said, that for the first goal which Will scored, and that came from the gorgeous footwork from Isak to put the ball in to Bruno to then chip over, and you just when you think you've seen everything from Isak, he goes, give us one.
I can do this as well. Yeah.
And even to be honest, even Joe Willock's even said about went to Isak and went Henry.
Yeah,
and clever.
He's half the player Henry was, then
it's early days, isn't it? But the signs are there, and you just like to even have that name mentioned at this early in your career. Like that
I think I'm trying to think who it was. Was it Gary Neville or Jacob? Well, there was definitely a pundit who came out and said, "I tell you what, Newcastle United have got a player on their hands in Alexander Isak." In fact, I think it might have been Jamie Carragher on Monday. And you sort of go, you probably tend to agree because, his record is phenomenal. And to be honest, even Callum Wilson's, because when I was looking at it, it's about 1 in every 2 games for Callum Wilson.
Yeah, which is saying something, bearing in mind the amount of injuries he's got to put up with, and the fact he's got competition for places. And
you look at the fact that he hasn't really scored that many, even when he was on there, because he was having. So you just look and you're going, what an embarrassment of riches.
We really have now. It's ridiculous.
The great thing is you've got Isak and Wilson both hitting their rich vein of the form in terms of goal scoring at the right time.
Absolutely.
You want that at the end of the season. You don't want that midway and then the drop off in that.
Yeah.
But like you said, Miggy's going to be back at some point. Yeah. Gordon's probably getting
Gordon's
himself.
not showing what he can do. He had a chance really.
No,
yet,
and
has
that's
he?
the thing, though. Yeah, he's come in, but he's probably had to build up to the way that he needs to work. A bit like what they were saying with Isak. He's fit to play, but he's not fit to play 90 minutes of Eddie Howe football.
Yeah,
and that'll be
absolutely.
the thing with Anthony Gordon, because Eddie Howe demands a lot, and you just But even when Anthony Gordon's come on, you look at him going, "Go on, my son." Yeah, he doesn't mind getting a good old tackle in there. Yeah, he's not shy on those ones and that. And
I have to give him credit. I have to give him credit for that tackle against West Ham, where I'm like, how has he won the ball there and kept it in play, and then we go up the other end and score, if I recall. So
yeah,
it is. Yeah, but like I said, he's one of those, probably a bit like a Miggy type player as well, where he can do that, but he doesn't mind getting back and doing the dirty work as well. And you just sort of think, yeah. And I think he's got a nickname now by Bruno. Is it Gordino?
Well, it's better than the nickname Jacob Murphy gave him on Instagram, called him Starboy Malfoy.
Starboy Malfoy, Jesus Christ. Bloody
I think
hell.
I actually like Jacob Murphy's one.
Yeah. Oh, bloody hell. Yeah, it's probably the only clean one they're allowed to put on there.
But the funny thing is, when someone translated what Gordino meant, it means chubby. Now,
they must love Bruno.
Now, whether or not that's meaning he's calling them chubby, or because he's seen him in training and he's got a chubby,
yeah.
No one knows. Yeah,
no one knows. Yeah, some things are best left. Yeah.
Exactly. Let's finish off with what we didn't get from Mark on Tuesday, because he was busy and that, so it was left to Michael. So do you know what? I'm going to let Mark go first. I'm going to put him on the spot. I'm going to give Michael the chance to have a breather before he thinks of what it's going to be. So your prediction then, Mark?
I think after the high of a 5-1, we might be on for just a, brought back down to earth a little bit. I'm going to go for a Newcastle win, but 1-0.
No.
We don't want to waste all our goals before the end of the season, lads.
No, true. I'll go for a 2-2. So I'm bound to run out at some point, because I've got the last two sort of right, where I said that we batter both those teams, which we did. So I'm going to say 2-2.
Good. Well, at least, because wasn't it last Friday when we said to Mark, if we lose to Manchester United, he's never coming on a show again, and we didn't. So it's fine. But
it could be worse. Michael's not allowed to come back to St James's Park.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly.
I know, Don. The pressure.
See, we've started winning when you've stopped coming to games. Yeah,
I know. Oh dear. I thought it was Steve Bruce for all this time, and it wasn't. It was...
But what we'll do is we'll wrap it up there. Again, welcome to the new channel. This is going to be a learning curve for everyone. So if you've got comments and feedback, pop it in. Whether or not you're watching this back again, it's going to be getting better. Like I said, it's going to be slow. It's going to be mistakes happen, but hopefully we'll get there, and hopefully you can join us on a journey where we bring the talk of football back to the terraces. Thank you and good night.
Thanks everyone. Bye.